So, Seth, Wednesdays, I'm going to reach out to Brandy and see if she wants to start doing Wednesdays. Now, how f***ed up is that going to make Anna?
I mean, it'll make her pretty f***ed up, but that's
we like doing.
That. Tell Anna don't breathe on my microphone. How about that? Don't breathe on my
Yeah, because you know what? Old girl was kind of being...
Yeah, we heard.
Like,
She was, you know what they call that?
like,
Nice nasty.
Yeah, like...
That's called nice nasty.
She was kind of being, like, not cool to her brother.
Yeah, she was being a germphobe.
I know.
No, she was being racist.
Oh.
I did say, are you mad because a black person talked in your microphone?
He made it racist.
I made it racist.
We made it racist, but we could feel her racism.
Oh.
Bitch was, hold on. The bitch was trying to cover, like, but we were calling a spade a spade.
Okay, cool. Then.
Yeah,
As long as you guys called it out.
You didn't like the fact that her brother was on your microphone.
That's right.
Period.
And I was going to actually say earlier, you know, how much are these mics? Because we should buy our
600.
own mic. Yes, we should buy our own mic.
Yeah, we'll get our own
Because I
mic.
plan on doing this for a long time.
We got
and
mics.
We'll buy a mic, and
You know what I'm
then
saying? So since I can have my own mic.
You guys rolling in with your own mic. It's like Dan Diaco's got a gold one. Did you see it?
Yeah. What happened yesterday with Bubba when Bubba was supposed to apologize to you? What happened? Because I heard he said, you know, he won't say I'm going to apologize, but he was saying something. I never heard that part of the show.
That may have resembled an apology, but maybe didn't technically qualify as one.
Well, I know he's apologized.
Yeah, no, he apologized. He apologized. You're asking what happened?
Yeah, what was that about?
Sure, I'd be happy to explain. So, Operation Pigmentation, you're familiar with that franchise?
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
It's one of those things I haven't really paid much attention to.
Okay. Well, Seth does a podcast with some of his barbers from South St. Pete that come in, and they happen to be black guys, which is cool. You know, we could get some flavor in here. That's great. And on the last episode of Operation Pigmentation, which was recorded, I believe, on Tuesday afternoon, Bubba took his TT night and I guess was still around the studios for some reason and comes on in and gets on the mic. And people know around here, and if you've been listening to the show for, you know, any period of time, you're probably aware that I'm a little quirky when it comes to my OCD stuff. I'm a bit of a germaphobe. I like to wipe things down. I'm a vegetarian, and if meat touches anything that I was going to eat, I won't eat it anymore. Like, I got a lot of quirks about myself. So I like to make sure, and for those watching the show on YouTube or Rumble, I'm using my own microphone. So when I sit in anybody's seat, I use my own microphone. Dan uses his own microphone. Lummy does, Seth does, and Bubba does. So I switch it out. So when I learned that the Operation Pigmentation guys were coming, I would switch out their mic. Well, on Tuesday, I didn't know that it was an every Tuesday thing. So I didn't switch out my mic. I just left it there. And I was hoping that, you know, if anybody comes in, that it would just get switched out because people, you know, they know my quirks. Well, this must have been last week when they recorded. So last week, the mic doesn't get switched out and I get kind of annoyed. And when I was informed of what happened, I knew someone was in my seat because I keep my space a very particular way. And if anything is moved or the dial is turned, I know someone has been sitting here. So the dial was turned up, meaning that I could hear stuff coming out of the headphones. The headphones weren't where I left them. So it was just very obvious that someone had been sitting in my seat. So I made a comment about it, and Seth said that, you know, no, he didn't switch out the mics. And Bubba basically said, like, deal with it. And I didn't say anything. I was definitely flashing some very dirty looks to people in the studio. I will admit to that. But I didn't say anything. I was fucking pissed. Yeah, I was mad. And then I wasn't just mad that it happened. I was mad that people were just like, get over it. So I was just like, you, like I was really mad because it's like I don't ask for much around here. I really don't. I'm not a princess about stuff. Maybe just, you know, just switch out the mic. I'm not asking to park in a special spot or have snacks for me on hand. I bring my own coffee. Like, I'm just not asking for much. So that pissed me. Thank you. I think you said you deserve it. Yes, yeah, just, you know, maybe just like a little respect and decency. I don't think that's too much to ask. So I kind of threw what Bubba said was a fit, which was basically I said nothing and I just flashed some very, very dirty looks, which is the only way for me to express myself sometimes. So that happened. And then when the Operation Pigmentation guys came on, I believe it was on Tuesday, they talked about how I was upset about that. And then one of the black guys, I believe it was Craig, said, "Oh, Anna's a germaphobe." And then Bubba said, "No, she's racist." And then he insisted that I was racist. And then I think he said, "You got to call, quote, a spade a spade." And when I heard that at my house right before I was about to go kayaking, I don't want to say enraged, but I was shocked. I was shooketh because, listen, I get called a lot of nasty things around here from people or chat or whatever the case may be. But, and I can stomach all of those things. But when you start throwing accusations like kid toucher, racist, sexist, whatever the case, those sorts of things, I could actually probably get away with sexist. But I could be a man hater and probably get away with it. I am not, but anyways. You cannot throw racist on my plate. That is not a good tag to have. So I called Bubba, which was certainly the move, because when you start texting things, oftentimes they can get turned around. The person has time to respond. You got to ambush. So I called Bubba, which I never fucking do, because he says, "Don't call me, text me, or talk to me in person." So I called him. And I knew he was going to be so shocked that I was calling that he would answer. So he was like, "Hey, what's going on?" Thinking like maybe I got into a really bad car accident. You know, he's thinking it's something crazy happened. So I was just like, "Hey, sorry to bother you, but is there a reason why you were accusing me of being a racist on Operation Pigmentation?" And immediately he denied it. And then I knew that was going to happen. So I just said, "Would you like me to play it for you right now? Because it's potted up, ready to go." And he was like, No. Sorry, I don't remember what I said. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Bye. I said, okay. So, are you underwater now? Oh, buddy, I got to turn. Okay, that's better. So that's.
Well, thanks for filling me in on that. I don't think he must have been. Yeah, I don't understand why Bubba would have said that.
Listen, we determined that it was an ambient-induced
exactly.
rant. Yeah, so he wasn't fully aware. He had a bit of a Roseanne moment. And listen, he apologized. Right. He corrected his former statement. So I can't be mad at the guy. You know, like with Longwood, if you do something bad, if you do me dirty, but you go, "Hey, I'm sorry." Like when Seth kind of like snapped at me with the mic thing, the next day he goes, "I'm sorry." Like all of my anger or whatever is completely diffused. Like I'm just like, "You said sorry. Like you admitted fault. We're fucking good, man." Like slap hands, A-okay. So Bubba, he apologized. He did call me a bitch on the road to the apology, but whatever. I'll still take it. It was an apology nonetheless. So we're good. It's squashed. I know every Tuesday to switch out the mic, and if not, it's whatever. I'll make sure that it happens the next time, whatever the case may be. So,
they don't even know what the hell we're talking about right now. Hardly do we. Here is the start of the Anna story. So Friday, I'm watching her show, and she's like, really, really, really doubling down on this racist deal. That I called her a racist, even though I apologized to her, even though the two people that I were with, the African American men, could care less what you call them. They don't care. They don't care. They're the two coolest dudes in the world. Call them in, and they don't care. They are so. I wish everybody was wired like them because they just say it like it is. They don't have a filter, and they don't care. They don't care. Anna's racist, man. Who cares, man? That's her right to be racist, man. Whatever. I'm kind of racist. I hate some white people. That's what.
Well, I mean, they're not sumo, but
that's what Rio might say.
Yeah.
So Friday, I'm watching her show, and she's like, I just can't get over the fact that Bubba called me a racist, and oh my God, that's the worst thing you can call somebody, and I am the furthest thing from a racist. And Anna, yes, agreed. Get over it. We had established that I made a mistake. I should have never called you that. It was, not a big deal. It wasn't on a show that, it wasn't on a terrestrial show that more people heard it at the time that it was delivered. It's a podcast show. People run a little bit looser on podcasts. It's not a big deal. And as soon as you approached me about it on the phone, I said I was sorry and that we would open up the show with it the next day with an explanation as to that you are not that and that I'm sorry. And I quite frankly thought it was over. So she starts talking about it on Friday. And I'm like, I told the merch crick, I almost feel like going down there, down to the station and telling her, let it go. Let the racist stuff go. So her show ends. No big deal. All of a sudden, I get a phone call. And I get a phone call from somebody that we work for. Well, I'll just tell you. Well, no, I'm not going to tell you. It's a major. It's the president of
A radio company?
Of a radio company. And he says to me, "Hey, I just got a call from the competition. I'm not going to mention any names, or I don't even want to give the competition I don't even want to give them any real estate as to who they are, because she might end up over there. But my guy, who I work for, says that he got a call from the competition, who he still has some friends over there. Like Seth, you still got some friends over at the Bone. We don't have to talk about you and John Sending being buddies, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course.
You still got some tentacles up in the house, don't you?
I got tenties. I hear things.
My guy says, I just want to let you know that Anna applied to be we have a morning, one of their stations has a morning co-host situation open. That is on a station that plays 6 or 7 songs an hour and is morning drive. My competition. So she's applying
in one of your markets?
Yeah, in one of my markets. Not like it's Atlanta.
For real?
No, for real. Not like it's Charlotte, not like it's Grand Rapids, but yeah, it was either I'm just going to tell you, between Phoenix, Fort Walton Beach, Ocala, Tampa, and Orlando, she had applied and has applied to be a co-host.
No way.
On a morning show.
Not like San Diego, go home.
No.
Not going to the other coast and not competing with you afternoons.
No. She
I always liked her too.
Applied for a morning co-host at one of the cities that I'm currently competing in. And I only have 6. So there's only 6 cities in the entire America that she could do something like this and it be a problem. And so I'm like, hold on. She applied for the co-host of a competing morning show against me? And he's like, yeah. And hold on, here's the thing about it. They're calling me, meaning him, because he's the market manager, they're calling me for a reference. They're calling me for a reference, and I told them that she works on the Bubba show, and Bubba's we subcontract Bubba out. He's not an employee of JVC, and you need to talk to Bubba, and so yes. So the guy's like, I can't give her a recommendation or not. You're gonna have to get that from Bubba. But I don't know how, Bubba's going to be, knowing that one of his co-hosts is applying, not to do middays, not to do afternoon drive, not to go do nights, but to do mornings.
A lot of people are saying that, did she have a non-compete? Like, none of us have contract, but when you start to go look for other jobs, especially ones that are a step down and pay $32,000 a year and is in a much smaller market, like it just shows that you don't want to be here anymore, compounded with everything that we, played from Blitz earlier on the show and why it was starting to wear on Bubba.
And so, I call her and I say, "Hey, Anna, is there something I need to know is there something that I need to know about that you've just participated in?"
You gave her a chance too?
Oh, no. Yes, exactly.
Just like you gave Blitz a chance?
And I even recorded it. I know I can't use it because it's a two-party state, but I recorded it on my phone so that I have a record of it. And I said, hey, is there something that you... She's like, hello? I'm like, is there something that I need to know about with regards to, radio? And she's like, no. And I go, Anna, again, this is all on tape. I go, Anna, realize I've been in radio for 40 years and I pretty much know everybody. It's a small business when you get down to it. Is there something that you need to tell me? And she says, no, So then I said, okay, well then did you apply to be the co-host at blah, 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 to do mornings? And do you realize that that's my direct competition? And she said, oh yeah, I have done that. But, I haven't really heard back from them or anything yet. And, I'm just trying to keep my options open because I've kind of got a weird feel lately about the show.
And you and her just talked last week, right?
And a very good talk. In fact, you guys had a show about how good. Wasn't the Two Live Jew show much about our talk? Didn't she, I think, explain to you that she thought the talk went well?
Yes.
Yeah. So it did go well. Now, mind you, I employ Anna with her little quirks and the things that she does because I think she's, a huge asset to the show. But I've been employing her for the last year, knowing who her significant other is, and probably at times resenting her for it. So then she goes to me. She says, yeah, I have, but I haven't heard back. And I go, well, I've heard back. I've heard back enough to know what's going on. And I talked to Tom. I talked to Tom Bean. I talked to Larry, talked to Tara, and I talked to Dan. And after she admitted that she had done that and my intel was correct, I said the following things. I want you to get this job. So what do you think would better you and your standing as potentially getting this job, having you resigning from me or me immediately firing you? An immediate firing or you resigning, which one do you think bodes better with regards to you getting this job? And she's like, well, regretfully, probably the resigning. So I say to her, okay, send me something that I can post because this is going to be a shiz storm. Because I'm going to put it up on X and I'm going to put it up on Facebook. So it's going to be a crap storm. So send me this resignation, please. Then she's like, well, when can I come pick up my stuff? And all this kind of stuff. I'm like, listen, I'll gather your stuff and text you next week when you can pick it up. She's like, well, I got my headphone. You mean probably headphones that Blitz bought from, they're probably deep down my headphones. At the end of the day, I'm just going to go ahead and give her headphones because I don't want any problems. But it's probably from, at the end of the day, I got I got 3 bankers books worth of stuff here. You don't think that probably I bought those headphones? Yeah. Right?
Yeah, probably.
At the end of the day, I probably have bought all. Have you guys, are any of your headphones your own? Or are they just the stations?
Mine.
Yours
just
are
Dan's gold.
Well, so yours, Lummy, are yours?
Yep.
But Seth, those are mine.
Yes, sir.
And she says, and so I'm like, I'll tell you when you can come by. So that's her part of this is very simple. I'm old school wise. I'm not going to allow that to happen to me. I'm just not. I'm not going to allow you to go apply for a co-host morning job. And you know what? You can apply anywhere you want, but not Phoenix, Fort Walton Beach, Ocala, Tampa, or Orlando are the only lockout markets that you have in your career that I have zero tolerance for you to apply. Now listen, within those markets I just mentioned, if it was afternoons or nights, man, I'll help you.
Yeah, what would you have done if she'd asked you?
If she would ask for mornings?
Just in general, I'm feeling a little unsteady here, and I'm trying to see what my options are. Would you help me?
Yeah, I will.
Because I did that to my first boss.
But not not on a station that's morning drive in my market.
In radio, and I don't know what it's like in other businesses, but in radio, from what I've seen, normally when you start looking for another job, because of how small the business is, and it's always been, you normally want to tell your boss, because there's always a chance that I could make it back, and it could be to your detriment. Like I remember when I was at Cox and the Bone, and I had an interview out in L.A., and I was very honest with them, and I told them, and they let me go and acted like they wanted me to better myself, but they held it against me, and they were like, we see that he doesn't necessarily want to be here anymore, and that was the case, So I feel like you have to be honest. I also worked on a show where a girl said she was going on vacation for a couple of days to see a friend, and then she ended up doing an on-air tryout in Vegas, and people were sending us the audio for on-air tryout. So,
but hold on here, and I agree with you. But on neither one of those situations did Cox have even a station in that market. Cox has no stations in Vegas.
Right,
well, they might have Vegas, but I don't think Cox has. I mean, as mad as they could be at you, Seth, because I knew you were checked out, Cox doesn't even have any stations in L.A.
No. Well, they weren't worried about competition. They just more worried about me just not wanting to buy into whatever the Bone was at the time anymore. So that is my honest story. It's pretty much that simple. Didn't take that many minutes. I can go into words. Let me listen to this last little bit, and hopefully play it and find what I'm looking for, and then I'm sure we'll continue this topic on the after show.
Are you going to play this tape on the after show?
The one that's up now?
Yeah.
Well,
people were asking if you were going to play either the Tom Bean one or this one, a little bit more on the podcast.
I guess we could dive deeper into it without having to worry about language over there.
You're damn right we are.
Yeah,
Seth needs those clicks.
It's good content.
Sure, yeah.
I need some clicks, baby.
Yeah.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.